And there is information here that we can actually use and compliments the interim executive director. Thank you very much.
Well, I made these myself then.
And you too.
On your brand new copy machine back there. Okay, so you have the financial report. So Connie couldn't be here, but Ms. Christina is definitely there. We want to give you the analysis of where we are. So as you see your operating accounts as of September 30th and your market money account. And so she is recommending that we have a third assigner for your operating accounts. And I want to thank the chairperson and Ben Reed. They've been coming, signing things, getting things done. So thank you all for doing that. You all have approved the minutes. To do so, we'll need the secretary to sign them so that we can get them going, so that we can present that to the bank, and then you can have an additional signer on your accounts once the minutes have been approved. Mr. Baker's final payout was done. There was a slight confusion about what his final would be. The amount was supposed to be $36,750, but on the agreement it was $33,923. So we had everybody to initial. We made that adjustment, and we actually issued all checks going for that. And so that's a total payout in reference to that. I have the original documents in my office. I did copy and scan your attorney. Yes. And so your attorney has a copy as well that initialed the change. And I apologize for the confusion. You have a copy of Peanut Festival, yay. You have your ad, this is the ad that you're going to have in the paper that you all have set up already. And so your Peanut Festival ad will be appearing in the paper, and that's what it looks like. I'll have to follow up to make sure, but we did instruct David Juror to remove Mr. Baker's name and things such as that from the website. I took over a lot of the final paperwork and delivered it myself to Anacostia Health Center. It was quite an impressive visit. I don't know if you all have actually seen the site in Pleasanton, but it is quite impressive. Your attorney has been very patient with me, so thank you so much, Marissa. We've been going back and forth, emailing back and forth. She works late, y'all. Emailing back and forth, but we have all the final documents signed, sealed, delivered. Thank you again for coming to the drive-thru, literally to have everything signed. So I believe we are officially done, and we did receive that $10 check, did we not? For them to, the $10 check from Anacostia. Like, oh, yes. Yeah. She said, what are we doing with this? I'm like,
It needs to go to the title company. So they can post it.
That's on, oh, that post, yeah.
Yeah.
the what?
That was for the purchase.
Yes.
The title company should have
They-
posted the $10.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
they
goes
gave
to
it- they gave
the
it to-
district.
Okay, because they called me about it.
So we need to do what with that to make sure it's a whole.
As long as they, or if they gave it to you, then we're good, but they needed, there was a question if we had or had not received a $10 check.
We got the $10 check.
Okay.
And so EDC normally gets much, much bigger checks than that, so staff is a little confused. That's a mistake, they left off some zeros. But it was done,
Well, those are
signed,
coming.
sealed, delivered, and we went back and forth in affidavit, so everything's in consulate. But I would strongly suggest that you go and visit the Anacostia development, because if they're gonna do anything like they've done over there at this location, I think it's gonna be phenomenal. It was quite impressive.
Well, I thank Henrietta for being diligent, because it was not easy getting that deal tied up, so appreciate that.
The emails back and forth, like on the phone, on Saturday, on Sunday morning. So we went back and forth, but we wanted to make sure that we had it, and I think the closing company was really nice. It was nice to know that Mr. Berger shared an office with the closing agent, and it's literally right across the street from the Anacostia, so it was easy. I went there, Monty signed, I went across the street, so we took care of that. So that's all done, and so I'm really happy to report on that one.
So the land has been transferred over to them, that's basically.
Yes, yes.
The deed, the last was to make sure
With the
the deed was
restrictions.
recorded. They should have done that.
Yeah, she's the recording.
And we should make sure that we.
Get a copy of that.
It might have got recorded today, but this morning.
Just make sure you get a copy
Get a copy
of
of
the
the
restriction.
recorded deed.
They normally mail it out within a week.
Okay, so we'll double check to make sure we have that. Then I'll send a copy to your attorney, and I'll have a file for them to do that project. A TML conference, and so your member is attending. We have confirmed her attendance there. She has all her information, her packages.
Dennis going
Yeah, but not on behalf of this
No.
Floresville.
Not
EDC.
4A, but 4A.
Oh, that's right.
He's not going for 4A.
No.
He's going, but he's not going as a representative of the city of Floresville or
No,
Floresville.
No, he's not.
As a member of the
EDC.
group.
He has a whole nother group. He wears
Yeah.
many hats.
That's right.
And so he's wearing another hat for that. But Marissa is going, and we have all her information there. Her hotel has been confirmed. And because she is like a kissing cousin for the city of Floresville, we will have her come to all of our wonderful events that we start having. So we'll have dinners, and there's invitations. They're invited to the city of Floresville, and so she is my plus one. So we're gonna be able to attend that.
And we'll have a report back from her when she gets back.
That's gonna be up to her. She's gonna have a report, but I'm here to tell you, the vendors room and a la carte, because the conference is set up a la carte, so you can pick and choose what's interesting to you, and they have quite a few on economic development. But also, at, yes, for small cities, they have special. Yes.
Our attorney is also a presenter.
Oh, yes.
Thank you to,
Yes,
Cindy.
I am thinking that,
Yeah.
well, Denton Navarro's really, they usually come and attend those conferences. And it is attended by small and large. And I think the thing that I enjoy is the vendors, but also the awards that they give for the different communities, and they break them down by different sizes. And so you get to see what other communities are doing in economic development, parks and things like that. So she'll have a whole lot to talk about it, and I think this will probably be something that you all will want to come to all the time. So she's set, she's done, hotels paid for, we're good, right? Hotels paid for, yes. And she has a per diem. I need to know if you would like to have a retail coach come to your next meeting, so we can confirm that.
I think we should.
Okay, so yes, that's a yes, you want him to come to your next meeting? Then we can make sure he has a presentation or something for your next meeting. Your next scheduled meeting, that will be your meeting in November. The results from the September 27th joint workshop that we had here with the baseball, and I thought it went quite well. I was little, and I was wearing my other hat, the city manager's hat, and I didn't know if they had sticks and brooms in the back of the room, but it went very well. Talk to the agreement. The agreement is just a generic agreement that we're trying to have, and the reason why EDC was there, they wanted all interested parties to come, because as you know, this park is very popular. And so we had members from 4A, 4B, we had the city attorney, and we had some councilmen there as well. The mayor was able to attend. And so we were able to say that we're gonna come together, they're gonna come up with an idea or a price that they can afford, that we can go back and forth, and everybody will tweak this agreement to go forward. But it sounded like it was a very positive meeting. Did anybody else have a comment they want to comment about the meeting? I know, Ben, you were there, right?
Yeah, just
You
to
were there.
clarify.
Ms. Fisher, you were there. Yes, yes. I know you were. Yes, so we went forward. I didn't know what to
I think
anticipate.
this clears up a lot of questions that they had. Miscommunication.
Yeah, just have everybody come together and talk. The grant for the, progress for the grant for the downtown sidewalks for 88, it is due at the end of the month. Your chairperson has signed a letter that is required by our grantee talking about that you all are going to be putting up the $50,000 for the sidewalks, which you all have already done. They had to sign a letter, they didn't believe me, so I had to get a letter. And I will be getting all the letters and things such as that to have them to come to say that they really want to participate. One of the things that we have for the downtown sidewalks is that the city doesn't own all the sidewalks. A third of that is owned by the owner. And so I don't know why the ownership of the boundaries go to the middle of the sidewalk, but they do. And so we have to get over half of them to sign an agreement to do that. Some of them, I've already gotten agreements from to do the parking lots, so I have to come back and ask them to sign for the sidewalks. And so everybody can sign, the government can't sign, they don't allow, so county can't sign. Like, man, I think it's a whole lot of space like it do county. But no, it has to be the individual owners to be able to do that. Some of them are renters, and I already know now who are renters and who's not. So I'm not going to the renters, I need the owners to sign to say that they can allow us to do that. So as soon as we finish Peanut Festival and the rain slows down, we should be able to start on one side for the back, for the parking lot, and then we can do the other. I just need a couple more signatures and then we're ready to go.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Oh, yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, when we first got together last year, we talked about inventory of downtown. Was that ever done?
Tommy made that one list, that it was like an intrepid list, but we need to make a.
It was never moved on, I think it was a walkthrough, but it was just kind of like a pat on the back.
What do you want?
I mean, one thing I was gonna bring up is
All they just storefronts, go ahead, sir.
just, you know, two things, well, that needs to be done. But as we're working with downtown and trying to do things, we need to keep in mind the point she brought up about the 3 foot. Because when you have a survey done or whatever, time and time again, you're gonna come back with a bad survey, it's gonna mean something's gonna be wrong. There's gonna be all kind of hair pulling, and you always need to remember to go back to that 3 foot and look real hard, because I've had it happen 2 or 3 times.
So do we need to take ownership of that 3 foot, or how do we?
Just knowing it's there as you're working with people or doing things, or if we make a procurement, or if we're negotiating with a lease or whatever it be, we need to keep in mind for the future that that does exist, because it will throw all your stuff out.
Yes. And we had to select, at the last city council meeting, we had to select engineer for the grant application process, and we selected Intrepid. I thought Intrepid was an easy selection. We went through the matrix. There's another company out of Pleasanton that applied. They're just as qualified, but having the fact that the sidewalk goes in front of them, they actually helped us set up some of the preliminary applications for it. I thought they were really good, and they are very sensitive to the fact that they are surveys, that they own, that, you know, they personally own the sidewalk. And so, if I'm understanding you correctly, for your inventory, you're looking for a list of owners on C Street?
All downtown.
Yeah, all the inventory,
On
all
C.
downtown. Leased, owned, or otherwise vacant.
Intrepid made a survey, and it was just an overview, and it is platted, but he didn't have all the owners, and like who's renters, who's the owner. I think that's, in case, you know, you come across an empty building.
When we first started talking about development floors, we thought that downtown was going to be our primary area of concern.
And with that list or that inventory like that, you know, there, a lot of times when people do show up and want something, if we have that inventory, we can help to place it in a building, or help work with them to get them to come into downtown to open up what they need.
Well, I can work on that list and see. That's the end of my report. I want to thank you all so much.
Can I ask a question? Regarding grants, did Mr. Baker ever mention doing a grant research for low-income housing? Because that was one of our, not that we budgeted for it for next year, but it was one of our goals when we sat down to list our goals, was low-income housing. Do you all
Do
recall
we have a
that?
list of those goals? Did you ever leave a list on this computer of the goals that we know? If that works for us?
I think we tagged it as affordable housing.
Right,
that was the,
affordable
they didn't,
housing,
all
right.
one and the same.
Yeah, but he said he had been talking to you about grants.
We talked about grants, about affordable housing and also different locations. And I worked with Riverbend because they have some property that they may have allocated to do that. They didn't become more than a couple of meetings. We can actually take any applications and go forward. But I know that it's one of your passions to have affordable housing. And I'll make mention to make sure that I attend the affordable housing component when we go to
At
TML.
TML?
Because they're gonna have one. We're gonna do that, because HUD's doing things a little bit different. The president has changed some of the missions for them to go forward. But we also met with the housing authority for the one that we have here in Floresville. And I'm trying to find a better understanding of how they work, because it's a little different.
You talking about Paloma?
No.
Remember the housing
Before the
authority?
housing authority,
The
that they,
Floresville
if you're,
Oh, yes,
with here,
on
supposed
the
to stop.
Spanish?
Spanish, yes.
Okay.
And they are missing a member, they're not a member from the city of Floresville. I can't be on their board, but and I can't attend their meetings because they meet, and I have other meetings. And so, we want to definitely start a partnership with them, because they have all the things we can do for affordable housing, because I think we need to probably remodel.
We used to have a
those
member on there,
houses.
Mr. Calamontes was the FEDC's member back
I
then.
think, isn't it Corina? Ramirez, I think is, we appointed her when I was in the council in 2016.
There is one there.
She's
on
from
your
Kirkland
listing
Round.
there, Henrietta.
Yeah.
You've got her, your
She's from
listing.
coming around.
Yes.
I mean, if you need
On
help,
the
I
list-
understand,
Yeah,
I
On
know
the
all the
list,
ins
we
and
have a
outs.
contract. So what we want to do is get a better understanding of how the housing authority works, because they have vouchers not only for the city of Floresville, but for Cove and even in Stockdale.
They got section 8.
And so we want to be able, but if there's affordable housing, we want them to come to the table and say, we can apply, that we can start looking something.
So local housing section 8, and then you can also like, if the list is here, you can apply in San Antonio and have it transferred and things like that, so.
If you go to that,
Minutes?
yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
what you do for the
I'll look at that. So I'll come back and add that to my report for the housing and the list of the owners for the downtown area.
Thank you.
Owner, you want owner occupied, right? Yes.
And to follow up on that, what we want to see if we could find a way for them to sell or lease or do something with, do something to not have an empty building.
Yeah.
You have to look at like some of the taxes, if you pay them, who's not.
Thank you.
Everyone clear?
Thank you.
Very well, thank you. New business, item number 11, discussion item and possible action item. Discussion and possible action regarding sponsorship of the grand prize Wilson County Public Library 2019 marker event for the International Barbecue Cook-Off Competition. Nikki Stoll will Library Director to present this.
Thank you for letting me come. I wasn't sure what to bring, so I did bring, these are our program guides that we put together every year. We are fast becoming, thanks to the city's help. This will be year number 5 next year, so we're growing. And to help people come to year number 5, it is the Friends of the Library's plan to host a international barbecue cookers association cook-off. And I believe Floresville has the wonderful pleasure of having a champion in town. Jeff Ramiro, I believe is his name.
For championship.
Oh, he's part of
The
that.
IBCA, International
He's part of like the
Barbecue
national team.
Cookers Association. So this is like I said, so this is a program to show you everybody who attends the major event that we have at the event center. And every year that we have done this, the library has applied for the summer grants through the city, where the Phelps provides cash money to the library to present summer reading, and then the city gives the Friends of the Library permission to use the event center for one day out of for the contract. I also snagged the treasurer's report from the last Friends of the Library to show you how it's growing. We started this in 2015. We only had 20 vendors on the floor. This year, we had 64 vendors on the floor, and the Wilson County Quilt Group joined in the gym with a quilt show. So to help us next year, it is our plan to do the International Barbecue Cook-Off. And to do that, if my math is correct, the Friends of the Library would be able to pay for first, second, and third place, but the library does not have the money to put up for the grand champion and reserve champion. So I've come here tonight to ask for permission or ask for you guys to help us fund the reserve and the grand champions of this barbecue cook-off.
Have you looked into a kids queue to go along with it, since it is the library for the kids?
The IBCA has suggested to us to have that like on a Friday night, as all the vendors and everybody is moving in and setting up. We can do that. I meet with the Friends later this month to actually
All these do.
hash down the times.
How much money are you requesting?
$1,000. How much? $1,000. I'm sorry, every year when the peanuts get us hung up, the mold and stuff that's in them, I lose my voice by the first day, so I'm sorry if it's kind of crackly. But this event is really neat. We've had a rocketry club. I had somebody from Austin contact me. They want to do a drone race in the backfield behind. I haven't quite figured out where we would put 15 barbecue pits, but I'm sure we could figure it out.
So all of these, ma'am, are vendors inside the event center?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This year, the prize, every year we tried to add a little bit more. Like I said, it was the quilt group. We also, I don't know if you watched KSAT 12, the library was on KSAT 12 this year. Blake's Brainiacs, that we had a pancake box, so we could print a pancake from an image. And next year, the technology edition would be a printer that prints edible ink on rice paper. is the pastry chef. She will make the cookies. You could put your picture on a cookie.
When's the deadline for this?
It'd be next year, so it's September 15th, I believe, is when we have the event center booked. We also have on staff a new young adult librarian who's going to be working with the schools from all districts to do a steampunk all-year-long literature-based program. So you could theoretically come up with a steampunk fashion show.
And you're the county librarian?
Yes, sir.
Are you in budget for this?
Would go to marketing, I guess.
Huh?
Marketing.
Marketing. Yeah, no, that's only, you have a certain amount on, right, per each fiscal year. And then I would have to figure out whether it fits within any of the authorized budgets.
Your guests, are they mostly Floresville guests? Or what do you?
I had some from Pleasanton. We did not ask where they came from this year when we surveyed. We only asked if they would be returning, if they found things interesting enough to return. And we asked the vendors if they would return. It was a unanimous of the returns. Believe it or not, Floresville has quite a few Etsy store owners, and we invited quite a few of those this time.
Ma'am, I have a question. I may not have the right question here, but can you tell us, in whatever terms, what's the benefit to Floresville, the city, of what you're doing?
Well, the whole maker concept is new to schools and libraries. It is the do-it-yourself group for crafters, hobbyists. It brings out people who make and sell things. And it's also, a lot of it is technology-based.
And you're using the event center, you say?
Yes, this is the library's big fundraiser
You're
for,
going to have an influx of people coming in.
we had 300 people attend this year.
So just so y'all know, this year's current budget was 30,000. This year's, and I don't think we spent, but
So-
advertisement, 10 of it, so we upped it to 50,000.
50,000?
Yeah, for advertising and marketing. So, I mean, would be considered like a title sponsor because
Yes,
we're
you will be the title
the
sponsor.
title sponsor, kind of like, I guess, the Freedom Fest become a title sponsor.
Correct.
Mr. Rivera and I are both on the 4A committee. I don't remember, are we sponsoring the event center also?
The city sponsors it,
Yeah,
yes.
you do.
Maybe some, but do they apply for, have y'all applied for like, since you're having a 2-day event?
From what I understand, we are not eligible for the hotel motel tax because I don't have the figures of people who use the hotels after the event.
The hotel motel tax, they've told me, and you have 2 members on the board here, that they're gonna change the application process for next year to ask for hotel motel tax to come in and say, you have your event first.
Yeah.
Then say, yes, you have so many hotels and things to do that, to be able to do that. She needs this for prize money, so she needs to have that there.
I like the idea. I like the way it's growing too, from year to year.
Yes.
I mean, they had that big thing, and I think we were talking about getting on it, where they had the makers and all the different things they do for the youth. Remember they did it in the comp park? It was like the business,
Youth entrepreneurs.
the youth entrepreneur thing, so just getting more involved in being a role model for the youth.
What I don't understand though is, where does the barbecue come into this?
It's just another way to draw people in, because those pit masters have their local followings, and we can't have another, from what I talked to the
You don't
representative,
think it's two different type of groups that come in?
you can't have them within 50 miles of each other. And when we looked at this particular date, the IBCA will be in Beeville, and they say that's exactly 60 miles away. So,
There was a home host, and I ran into Melissa. She posted a picture on
It just
Facebook
says
there.
Stockton.
So it was everything from people selling blankets to kids creating books in the library. So it was really interactive, but it wasn't, I think they were trying to get, to read books and to do things, not just sit around, to have other kind of activities. The ladies with those blankets were phenomenal. Oh my God, I've never been.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty neat.
I hadn't heard about it.
see, that's another problem we've run into is letting people know it's out there. We can put it on the library's Facebook page, I can put it in the newspaper, until I can get something international like this, where these barbecue guy or people say, hey, I'm going to Floresville, then they come in as well. So we're looking to up our numbers as
Just
well.
for fun, let me ask you this, just for fun.
Please do.
The city is sponsoring the event center, that's $2,300.
Mhm.
The EDC more than likely tonight's going to support $1,000.
Mhm.
That's $3,300.
Mhm.
Probably give you concessions, whatever that is. So how much does the county contribute?
The county contributes, well,
for fun.
it's the Friends of the Library. I have a different hat on tonight.
Oh, okay, so it's not the county itself?
Right, it's the Friends of the Library.
It's like their
their-
consulate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is our 501c3, and it's whole new from the other ladies that used to do the gala. The galas no longer happen, but we need $6,000 to do the county-wide summer reading program.
Okay, but to answer the question, the county is giving how much?
My staff and my time.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Clarissa, does this fit into what we do, and do we have a budget for it? We just said that we.
This will be in 2019 budget,
So.
but it's under advertising, so.
I think it
We're
could
covered.
probably fit under advertising.
And there should be, in the brochure, there should be a section
Promotion.
that says who
Yeah.
is our sponsors.
Because you have the businesses that you're.
And we can promote it on our Facebook page and our website.
Yeah, no,
Businesses.
I ran out of space this year. Usually I put it at the back.
We're gonna put a sign up there, we can run on the sign.
Okay, is everybody clear on this?
Well, I'd like to know about charging. Do they charge for people to go in?
Yes, it's
You do
it's
charge?
a $5 donation to go into this event.
It's a donation.
It's also to do the barbecuing part. Will be a charge of $150 for each barbecuing team. And that's where the prize money for first and second and third place come from.
What are your future plans with the event?
Every year changes.
Change it and get bigger?
We're growing.
I would
every
say, I would
year.
recommend maybe working with that event with Ches out there and maybe the 4A, maybe go on their meetings and see how we could partner up and as a community in different events to
We
make
have
this maybe a
asked.
future, the new future event for, because that barbecue thing is big, I mean.
I like that idea, I like it.
I mean, that's how the Turning Burn started. The Turning Burn started with the chamber in Pleasanton.
Right.
And look at it, it's actually the largest payout in the state of Texas right now. They have a big carnival. Have you ever been to that?
Plus, I have commitments from Air Life to bring in a helicopter for the kids to do a kind of touch-a-truck. And I understand from Adair, Waffle, that they have a 16-foot wooden helicopter on a tractor trailer that will bring that in so kids can climb up, and so there'll be stuff out in the parking lot as
If
well.
you would like Mr. Alejo, sometimes they'll bring in that big overnight.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Chairman, can I make a motion?
Yes, please.
I make a motion that we approve the $1,000 expenditure to this organization.
Have a motion by Danny, a second by Fred. All those in favor?
The Friends of the Library.
Friends of Library.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Great presentation, thank you.
Item number 12, discussion item and possible action item. Discussion and possible action regarding Christmas decoration update for the downtown area. Approval of the electrical contractor for the in-ground outlet for the Christmas tree at the county courtyard. Donna Dickerson, Floresville Chamber of Commerce to present.
It's really not an approval, you guys have already done the 30,000 for the Christmas, but it's in your packet should be the bid from the contractor for the electrical. From Soil.
So what does that include then?
That includes all of the electrical plugs around the courthouse and all of the plugs up and down the streets in Floresville, the Peanut Festival, and all of those plugs that are up and down.
I think we had talked about, some of this is included about the, on top of the buildings.
Yeah, the lights up at the top to plug in, to if we go back to the lights above the top of the
No,
store.
that's people's property. You can't go off people's property to do that.
But if we light it and get permission to put them up
Yeah, I
there.
thought we were gonna get permission. You gotta ask people.
We're asking for sidewalks, might as well ask them.
Well, you get the lead sidewalk, but do sidewalk and fix your light sign here.
Yeah, I was
That was your
just,
parking lot.
I mean, we're not paying, they're not paying for any, electricity, we're just gonna provide that. I mean, I would say I'd never gonna do it right.
It looks pretty on top of the building.
Well, these stay up year round, these aren't Christmas lights. Christmas lights, you just turn